Good morning and welcome to John Beck. This is your principal, Mr. Lin, and I hope that you had a wonderful Monday yesterday. Today is Tuesday, January 31st, 2023, and it is a day C, and then for instrumentals, it is a day 5. Now, before we kick off this wonderful day, I want to invite you, as I always do, to please stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Go ahead, take a seat. I'm so happy that you're here in school. I love the fact that you guys show up. It's a great show of togetherness, right? Each one of you guys come from a different household in our community, and we come together every single day. That little piece that we do is something we take for granted, but it's something I don't want us to take for granted. I love the fact that for all of the different households that we come from all of them, we come together and we become John Beck kids. I think that's amazing. All right, so let's go over our lunch menu for today. We've got 4 choices. Your first choice, the hot lunch choice, is the chicken patty sandwich. Choice 2 is a warrior munchie meal. Choice 3 for our kindergarten through 2nd grade students, a lunchbox meal with turkey. And then for 3rd through 6th grade, it's a turkey sandwich meal. And last but not least, choice 4 is the sun butter sandwich. Don't forget, it's a Tuesday. So if you are in 3rd and 4th grade and you attend the Warwick Religious Release program and you plan to buy lunch, make sure to choose either choice 1 or choice 3, okay? So that's going to be the chicken patty sandwich or the turkey sandwich meal, okay? And make sure whatever you choose is what you ask for when you pick up your lunch. Once again, if you are a packer, you're good to go. All right, we have 3 expectations here at the school. You know what they are. Number 1, be respectful. Number 2, show that you're responsible. And number 3, show that you are ready to learn, ready to fail, ready to brush yourself off and get back on. Okay. Now let's go back to that respect part. A lot of us know that, one of the most important and obvious signs of respect is towards your teacher, right? If your teacher's talking, you should be listening. If your teacher is asking you to do something, you ought to be doing it to the best of your ability. No one's asking you to be perfect, but we are asking you to put in the best effort you can. But the other part too is, what do we do for each other? Right? Okay. Once again, we come from different households. We're coming together. What are we doing to respect each other? Not everybody grew up the same. No one thinks the same way. No one likes to eat the same food. Nobody watches, and it's not like we all love the same TV shows. Okay. We all bring differences. How do we respect those differences? And how do we respect each other's preferences? Right? And how do we control ourselves in ways that can be respectful to others? And once again, I'm going to bring ourselves back to the bus. I'm going to bring ourselves back to the cafeteria. These are 2 areas where you don't often have like a teacher who's just watching you like a hawk, right? We've got people monitoring, but really in the end, how the cafeteria looks like at lunch, what it sounds like at lunch, comes down to you and your respect for others. And once again, I want to remind ourselves, let's keep our volume at a level 1. Okay, let's not let it grow all the way up to a level 3 where it becomes deafening. And yes, our ears can hurt. Not respectful, okay? And once again, I want you guys to think about that. And no one person is going to make is going to create the change that will impact all of us, right? We all have to do our part. The same thing goes over to the bus, right? Once again, check your volume. Once again, if you think you could get away with doing something that you shouldn't do just because it's fun, remember, sure, you might be able to get away with it, but should you? And that's the question you have to keep asking yourself. You don't need a teacher to ask you. You need to just keep asking yourself, should you? And if the answer is, I probably shouldn't, and it's probably disrespectful, it's probably mean, then find something else to do that is respectful. Find something else to do that is responsible. All right. Now, guys, I only have one special announcement for today. On Thursday, we here at John Beck, we're going to be holding our math night. Guys, we've got a lot of great activities. We invite your family, you, to come on out. We're going to take all the things about math and gamify them, turn them into interesting activities, things that will create challenges for you. And in order for you to attend, don't forget that you do have to sign up online beforehand. And there was a flyer that was resent last Wednesday. Please, if you really want to come and you guys are able to, get your parents to go find that flyer in their email. Make sure that they sign up. I think we've got over 100 people signed up to come and attend. So we're really excited about it. We've got a good showing, and I think we do have room for a little bit more, okay? Once again, I also want to remind you that good quotes are up there. Take time as you're walking through the hallways. Let those posters that your classmates and your schoolmates have created, let the words that are on those posters come through to you. Let those good messages soak into you, and think about what those messages mean. And hopefully they can be very encouraging to you. All right, let's move on to this day in history. Today is January 30th, 2023. Back in 1865, I'm going to kind of tag off of this day in history from yesterday. Yesterday, we talked about a Civil War battle, the Battle of the Ironclads, the Monitor, which was like this floating tank versus the CSS Virginia. At the end of the war, Abraham Lincoln and the North won, right? So all of those states that were trying to break away from being part of the United States, they lost, and so they were still kept in the United States. And one of the things that they were fighting over was slavery. Down south, a lot of people made money because they forced slaves to do their work. And one reason, and I would say the most important reason that the Civil War was fought was over slavery. A lot of states in the North, including Pennsylvania, had already decided slavery was a bad thing. You can't just own people and make them do things and not even pay them. And believe it or not, it was okay. It was up until the Civil War, it was actually okay. Like, you could do that. Which nowadays, kids, you and all the grown-ups nowadays realize how wrong that is. But it blows my mind to think that it was actually okay, like it wasn't against the law. Which brings me to this point. On this day, we finally made it a law across the entire country that slavery was no longer allowed. You couldn't just own people and make them do things and not even pay them. Okay? It's cruel. It's a terrible way to live. It's a terrible way to make your money, honestly. It's not really an honest day's work. So in the rule book for our government, which is called the Constitution, we added an additional rule. It happens to be the 13th addition to our Constitution. The fancy word for that would be amendment. It was the 13th Amendment, which basically said from then on out, from January 31st, 1865 on out, slavery was illegal from the East Coast to the West Coast. And if you were going to be an American citizen, if you want to live here in the United States, you were no longer allowed to own slaves. So that didn't really solve how people treated each other. People who, slaves who were now freed, a lot of times were treated very cruelly still, but they were no longer slaves. So that was a good step in the right direction. All right, listen, if nobody else has told you this, just know this. I, Mr. Lin, and your teachers and the staff here at John Beck, we love you, care about you. We're here to encourage you. Guys, they're words, just words. It feels good to hear it. I hope that you guys know that we mean it. It feels good to hear it when somebody really means it. But more importantly than that, I'm challenging myself, but I'm also challenging you. Go ahead and find how to show love. What are you going to do to show care? What are you going to do to show that encouragement? I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see you guys around. Have an amazing day.